안녕하십니까. 왜 이렇게 다들 익숙한 얼굴이 이렇게 많지 모르겠네. 그러게. 자, 아무튼 뭐라고 해야 되나. 그런 거죠. 이 뉴질랜드 위스키를 따지고 보면 지금 한국 최초로 소개하는 격이 됐는데 너무 변방이라 뉴질랜드가 은근히 증류소 역사가 오래되긴 했어요. 은근히 제가 알기로 80년대, 90년대에도 증류소가 있었거든요. 근데 다 망했습니다. 당연한 얘기지만 망했고, 사실 대부분 지금 남아있는 증류소들은 거의 신생이에요. 그나마 좀 생긴 게 2010년대 그쯤에 생긴 것들이 대부분이고, 뭐 아시다시피 땅은 우리나라 2배인데 인구는 500만 밖에 안 됩니다. 그러니까 심지어 저기 남태평양 혼자 있잖아요. 그러니까 속된 말로 내수 수요가 없어요. 500만 밖에 안 되니까. 끼케야 옆에 호주 수출하고 그럼 뭐 다 합쳐도 2천만 밖에 안 되기 때문에. 다만 이제 호주 위스키도 그렇지만 이제 뉴질랜드 위스키는 강점이 하나 있습니다. 강점이 뭐냐면 모든 재료가 뉴질랜드 안에서 구할 수 있어요. 몰트 나오고 오크 있고, 그 다음에 심지어 와인도 많이 나와요. 피노누아 같은 거. 그러니까 와인 캐스크도 많고, 몰트도 직접 구하고, 심지어 오크도 나오고. 기후는 약간 서늘한 대만 느낌이라고 보시면 돼요. 그러니까 여름엔 좀 더 서늘하고, 겨울에는 진짜 추워야 영하 5도? 네, 뭐 그런 느낌이라서 하여튼 뉴질랜드 위스키가 아마 세계 시장의 메이저로 나오기는 쉽지 않은데, 그럼에도 불구하고 이제 예를 들면 유럽, 뭐 독일이나 프랑스나 이런 데에 비해서 조금 특색이 있다고 해야 되나? 그런 점들이 있기도 했고, 추가로 아마 이분은 얘기 안 하시겠지만 원래 이 증류소의 설립자가 글렌모렌지에서 일했어요. 그래서 뭐 모렌지의 영향을 받았다 이런 게 문제가 아니라, 어쨌든 이제 스카치 위스키 업계에서 일하던 사람이라 제3세계 위스키들이 하나같이 갖고 있는, 본인들은 강점이라고 얘기하고 사실은 약점인 게 하나 있거든요. 뭐냐면 비싸요. 일본 위스키 보면 뭐 말도 안 되게 비싸죠. 뭐 야마자키는 말고 뭐 신생 증류소들 보면 다 그래요. 뭐 김창수도 그렇고 크래프트 브로스도 그렇고 다 비싸요. 왜냐면 규모의 경제가 첫 번째 안 되고요. 두 번째, 아까 말씀드린 대로 원재료를 다 수입해야 돼요. 뭐 김창수 증류소나 기원 증류소나 비싸게 팔고 싶어서 파는 게 아니라 몰트도 수입이야, 캐스크도 수입이야, 다 수입이잖아요. 물류비를 무시 못 하거든요. 근데 뉴질랜드 위스키도 그렇고, 특히 포케노는 아까 말씀드린 스카치 업계를 알기 때문에 가격 경쟁력을 좀 맞추려고 많이 노력을 했기 때문에 저희가 작년 한 이맘때쯤에 수입합시다 얘기가 나오긴 했는데, 경기가 이렇게 개판될 줄 몰랐지. 그래서 어쨌든 수입은 했으나 솔직히 말씀드리면 올해 이렇게 잘 유지가 될지는 잘 모르긴 합니다. 저는 뭐 가성비 나쁘지 않다고 생각했지만 뭐 오켄토션 2만 원에 팔고 있는 이 시점에서 가성비를 논하는 건 아무래도 말도 안 되기 때문에 뭐 하여튼 그렇습니다. 그래서 오늘 뭐 대부분 영어 잘하실 거라고 믿고 통역은 약간 날림으로 하겠습니다. 뭐 라기보다는 이제 좀 보충 설명을 제가 추가로도 해드리는 형태로 아마 하게 되지 않을까 싶어요. 아무튼 시작하겠습니다. 오케이, let's go.
Let's go. All right. Tēnā koutou, tēnā koutou, tēnā koutou katoa. That basically means welcome to you as a group in the traditional Māori language of New Zealand, and it's great to be here. Thank you for coming. My name's Vaughan. I'm the Global Sales Manager for Pokeno Whisky. We're going to go on a little journey, introduce you to about New Zealand whisky, what we're about, a little bit about Pokeno whisky, and then we're going to taste some fine New Zealand whiskies tonight. Mm-hmm. So naturally original, fearlessly original, naturally different. That's our tagline, but we start here. So this is New Zealand. Mm-hmm. Interesting to note that although we are a small country at the bottom of the world, New Zealand's actually land mass is nearly 2 times bigger than Korea. Mm-hmm. And we have 5 million people. Mm-hmm. Not 50. So there's lots of space. Pokeno is situated just south of Auckland. Auckland's our biggest city, 1.67 million people. It's the northern part of New Zealand is more tropical, more humid, and we'll go into that and the reason that we're there very shortly. But this just gives you an idea of where we are. I will point out, down here is called Canterbury. This is where our malt comes from, the Canterbury Plains, so our malt comes from the South Island. We're located in the Upper North Island. Where we are in the Upper North Island is surrounded by humid valley. So we're surrounded by volcanic soil hills, and that adds into our whiskey. We'll talk about that later on. But it is a very humid valley where the distillery is situated. So two things here. So it's family owned and operated. So Matt and Celine Johns founded the business, and they own the business, and they're part of the business. They both work with us in the business. And their decision as part of that was to have everything on site. So we do everything from fermentation, distillation, aging the whiskey, bottling the whiskey, labelling the whiskey, and shipping it out the door. It's all done and controlled by us because we want to make sure that everything is the quality and expectations of what we represent. So now we're going to talk about two parts of it. So our ingredients and then the process. So one of the key reasons we're in the valley that we're in, and we're in the township of Pokeno, is because they are volcanic soils, volcanic hills. Over 100 years, the water filters through those soils and creates an aquafilter under the ground. We draw our water from that aquafilter. It is high in minerals. The two key ones for us are manganese and iron. So we set out to make sweet, fruity style single malts, and there's two parts of our process that add towards this: fermentation and distillation. So one of the keys to our fermentation is we do an extremely long fermentation. So we ferment for 90 hours. So we pause at 45 and settle, and then go for another 45 to expand. And that's expanding the yeast and the sugars to set up that fruity style. So the second part of the process is our distillation, and we do a long, slow distillation. And again, this is the second part of adding to those sweety, fruity notes. Lots of reflux, lots of touching copper, lots of flavour transfer. But when it comes to the cut, we're very tight as well, so approximately 2 hours of cut. As soon as we start cutting, Matt and the distiller taste every 15 minutes, make sure it's the flavour profile. One day's distilling gets us approximately 600 litres of the cut of the heart. Because of the subtropical climates, we lose a lot of angel share. So on average every year we lose around 9% angel share. If we compare this even to other distilleries in New Zealand, the distilleries in the South Island of New Zealand lose on average 4%. And then if we compare this to a single malt out of Scotland, they lose on average 2.5%. So in New Zealand, in our climate, we're aging at about 3 to 3.5 times faster than a single malt out of Scotland. This is very unique to us in New Zealand. So we have a Cooperage, and we've chosen to take a Cooperage on site. No other distillery in New Zealand has a Cooperage. Mike, our cooper, is a third generation master cooper from Scotland. So he's come into our business in New Zealand, and he does all the coopering for us. This gives us a slightly different opportunity than our competitors in New Zealand just on what we're able to do with our casks. So we use a lot of different casks to age our whiskey in, but the most predominant one is First World Bourbon. And we use Jack Daniel's casks. So a high percentage of ours are put into Jack Daniel's. But then we have sherry casks, Oloroso, Moscatel, all the kinds of sherry casks. And soon in New Zealand, we're about to launch a port cask. We've done rum cask. We've done Sauvignon Blanc. We do red wine, New Zealand casks. We're lucky. We can do different kind of casks and experiments with our whiskies to see what flavour profile it brings. One thing that having Mike and our Cooperage has allowed us to do is experiment with native New Zealand woods. So we have a cask called Totara. Totara is a native New Zealand timber, has to be sustainably milled. We get enough wood to make 8 to 10 casks a year, and it's an exclusive that only Pokeno makes in the world because you cannot export the wood out of New Zealand. It's a sacred wood that was used by the Māori in the days to make waka, which is transport up rivers, and we are lucky enough to age whiskey in the Totara wood. So we've got the three pillars, and we've gone over this, so we'll be quite brief. So our founders, Matt and Celine Johns, their styles, so they've both been in the industry for a long time, Matt, Glenn Morangi and Tali Barin, but their styles are what Pokeno whiskey is all about. Their passion is Pokeno whiskey. Their life now is dedicated to Pokeno whiskey, and the whiskey we produce is part of them, and it shows the style of whiskey that they have adored and loved and want to present to people. We talked about location. It's that subtropical climate, those volcanic hills and that water source. Matt and Celine looked all around Auckland for the perfect spot for the distillery, and then ended up in Pokeno, and for that water source, it was a real critical to the success and the starting point of the distillery and the whiskey. And the production, we talked about wanting to make sweeter, fruitier styles, so the fermentation, the slow distillation, the real tight cut, were all about quality over quantity. I think it's time to taste. So we start first with Origin.
자, 오리진부터 드실게요. 네.
So please have a smell. So Origin is fully matured in bourbon cask. So the Jack Daniel's cask, 43% ABV.
그 아까 설명하는 걸 깜빡했는데 그 포케노는 리필 캐스크를 안 쓴대요. 그러니까 전부 퍼스트 필 캐스크라고 얘기를 하니까 당연히 오리진은 100% 버번 캐스크 퍼스트 필이고요.
So when I smell Origin, it has overtones of in the distillery of our new make, and when the new make is coming out of the stills, we have lots of tropical and bananas. And when I smell Origin, I get a beautiful vanilla, sweet citrus, but the banana's there in the background as well. For me, that's just when I'm smelling it. So please, again, have a smell. You have your own palates. So when I drink Origin, the citrus notes come through, and there's a nice grapefruit tone in there. It's smooth, but it's got a nice follow through as well. So I get a grapefruit note, but there's still the sweet citrus notes and a little bit of vanilla. It's got a sweet lingering finish. Any questions or any?
He feels some mineral in the nose.
Hopefully manganese and iron.
비슷한 것 같습니까? Kind of cinnamon?
Cinnamon? Yep. So these cinnamon I call a bit of a spice. So that's probably our lightest style with the spice, and it comes out more through sweet peppery, small cinnamony spices. It goes really well in a highball.
그 아까 이제 전 마스터 클래스에서 얘기했는데 하이볼 탄 다음에 가니쉬로 자몽 넣으면 기가 막히다고 합니다.
Right, all good to move
Okay,
on.
yeah.
So next we move on to Discovery. So you can see the colour. So Discovery is bourbon cask, Oloroso sherry, and Pedro Jimenez sherry cask. So it has a 3 cask influence, and the sherry heavily influences the colour of the liquid. So please again, have a smell. So it's actually quite interesting. I get some notes of what I tried just before. For me, there's a little bit of the dried fruit, sweet citrus, and even a little bit of dark chocolate in the nose. There's obviously, with the sherry influence, this is a little bit more complex. It's a bit more bold, but there's still a citrus note. But there's also some ripe cherries that come through in this as well. It's got a little bit more of a finish, whether it's a little bit of spicy or it's smoothness that comes down a little bit longer. So the fruit itself, the process is started with all of our fermentation distillation, 100%. So I was saying before, the new make smells like tropical fruit and banana, and then the barrels evolve it into, there's still banana there, but it evolves it into a more of a citrusy style, and it's some of the, we don't have it here, the totara actually takes it to a bitter lemon versus the sweet citrus, the sweet lemons and grapefruits that come through.
You should take some new make spirit here.
Yeah, I know. You need to come to the distillery. My office is the visitor centre, and I just walk straight into the distillery every morning, and I just smell the new make. It smells beautiful. It's a good way to start work.
So why you put in the name in the Discovery?
This is quite simple for the. So Origin was our first ever signature release. Discovery was then an evolution and a discovery of new flavours. Then we've got another one called Revelation, which reveals again the next set of flavours, which is red wine cask in New Zealand. So that's why it's our core range. It's our Origins, then your Discovery, then your Revelation of flavour. Then we've got the next. What we're going to try next is called part of our Exploration series.
이게 이 아저씨가 글렌모렌지에서 일했던 영향이 없지 않아 있지 않을까.
약간 스피릿이 좀 성탄이
뭐 그것도 있고 이름도 오리진. 뭐냐면 사실 그 글렌모렌지도 그렇잖아요. 그러니까 오리진에서 시작해서 하나씩 맛을 얹어가는 형태고 여기도 아마 비슷한 느낌으로 진행하지 않을까.
So next we're going to move into the exploration series. To explain the exploration series, we're going to start with the winter malt, but the exploration series is where we explore different wood types, which is totara, as part of the exploration series. Different distilling types. We have a SKU called Triple Distilled, it's an ode to Irish distilling. And you're going to try winter malt because it has 3 malts. It has a chocolate, a toffee, and a manuka smoked malt.
뭐냐면 아까 이제 하나는 이제 캐스크 타입을 다른 거, 하나는 증류 방식을 다른 거, 하나는 이제 몰트 종류를 다른 걸 쓴 거예요. 그래서 초콜릿 몰트, 토피 몰트, 그 다음에 마누카 스모크 몰트를 썼습니다. 사실 앞에 2개는 크래프트 증류소에서 쓰긴 해요. 초콜릿 몰트 쓰긴 하는데 그 마누카 스모크 몰트는 어쨌든 뉴질랜드에서밖에 못 나옵니다. 오케이.
So manuka is another native New Zealand wood. It's a small tree with thin branches, so you can't make a cask out of it. But we use it to smoke the malt. It's a very sweet smoke. It's not a peat, and we use the manuka for that reason. Please taste. I love this one. It's a lot of fun.
아마 제일 이게 뉴질랜드 위스키구나라고 쉽게 만드는 맛이긴 해요. 스카치나 뭐 일본이나 이런 전 세계 어디 가도 먹을 수 없는 맛이긴 합니다.
So when I taste this, we were talking about this earlier on because I just had one. So I get coffee notes, like a mocha coffee notes, really dark chocolate, and then the finish leaves me with this beautiful smoke. But again, it's a sweet smokiness in a way. It's not peat. It's the way we live in New Zealand. I think of myself sitting in front of a fire, drinking winter malt and smoking a cigar. It's perfect for it.
예, 이제
It's not peated malt.
It's smoked, manuka smoked. So it's not peated. It's the same process, but so much lighter.
How's the ratio between the malts?
The malts are even. So the malts come to us from the malt farm, all done for us, literally in 550 kg bags, and those 3 are all even in that ratio. It's a third of each. That's why I think they marry so well together. I don't personally think that any one overpowers the other, and they create a great flavour profile.
So how long they are aged?
And
Aged.
aging, yeah. So on average, we age our whiskies at 4 years. So we've found the sweet spot for our whiskies is 4 to 5 years. We've only been distilling since February 2019. So our oldest whiskey in cask is coming up 6.5 years. So that subtropical aging at 9%, that angel share, we've found that sweet spot at the moment is 4 to 5. The oldest whiskey we've released is a 5.5-year-old. So for those of you that can understand me, it was a whiskey cask sent to New Zealand in 1919, landed in 1921, so it was a 105-year-old cask, and it was a PX sherry hogshead. So we aged a full maturation PX sherry hogshead for 4.5 years, and we were given that cask it came to the South Island. We finished that PX sherry for 1 year in a 105-year-old cask. When you're talking about whiskey history in New Zealand, that's huge. Like 105 years is big. And it was a sherry bomb. It was an exclusive we have a Dram Fest in New Zealand, which is New Zealand's biggest whiskey show. It's about 3 days of about 3,000 people a day. And that was an exclusive partnership for them. We've now put new make into that cask, 105-year-old casks, in 4 to 6 years. We'll see how that tastes. So we have history in New Zealand of making whiskey, but there was one whiskey company for years, and they went bust in the 90s, and now there's a revolution of whiskey distilling happening. There's probably 8 of us. Most of them have come from gin, because gin is very big in New Zealand, and now they're doing whiskey. Pokeno is the biggest dedicated whiskey distillery. We only make whiskey. All right, now we're going to move on to the single cask exclusives. We're going to swap it around. We're going Oloroso first, okay? So, but Oloroso, we're going the Sechi exclusive first.
Okay.
So these two are exclusive for Korea. They are single casks that are only shipped and bottled here. So full maturation for 4 years in the Oloroso first fill cask. This is cask strength, so we're up to 60% ABV. Cool. So on the nose, massive evolution when you get to the Oloroso. So there's dried fruits, there's roasted nuts, there's all those raisin flavors that are coming through. There's actually an interesting orange peel note that I get from it. There's an orange peel that comes through. So have a taste. So for me, the orange still comes through in the whiskey, but there's a little bit of a cherry influence as well. A little bit of chocolate in there. Oh, tasting notes say chocolate cake. There's a gentle spice. There's a gentle spice to this that comes through as well. And it is obviously, it's 60%, so it's a nice warm mouthfeel and it flows right through.
일단 뭐 도수가 높으니까 뭐 목구멍이 어떻게 생겼는지 다들 확인하실 수 있는 그 정도 느낌일 거고요.
What do we think of that one?
네, 약간 그 향신료 노트가 좀 잡히긴 할 겁니다. 약간 뭐 시나몬 계열이라고 해야 되나?
Keep enjoying. Keep enjoying.
그다음에 다시 한번 말씀드리자면 이렇게 짜다는 그 특정 노트가 선을 넘으면 나오는 거예요. 그러니까 정말 소금이 들어있는 게 아니에요. 그러니까 알코올이 너무 세거나 혹은 너무 달거나 혹은 너무 시거나 하면 이제 쓴맛이 잡히는 거거든요. 그러니까 그거는 이제 이렇게 짜다는 게 뭐 좋다 나쁘다를 떠나서 그러니까 밸런스적으로는 조금 자기한테 안 맞는다는 표현에 가까운 거지. 그러니까 이제 여러분 딴 데 가셔서 이게 위스키가 짠맛을 느꼈다 그러면 이 짠맛이 어디에 왔는지 한번 고민해 보는 것도 재밌으실 거예요. 그러니까 이게 너무 달아서 짠 건지 너무 쉬어서 짠 건지.
Cool. Last but not least.
Okay.
So the last one is, again, this is an exclusive in Korea. It is 100% matured for 4 years in the Moscatel cask, and it's cask strength again, so 60.7%. You ready? You ready? So for me in this one, there's predominant pear, there's dried fruits, but the dried fruits move to a raisin type flavour for me on the nose that come through predominantly. Maybe even cinnamon on the nose a little bit. So please try. So there's a beautiful sweetness that comes through to it, but it's like a rich chocolate that comes through in this one. There's a nice spicy finish, and those fruit notes travel through quite evenly into the whiskey. And one of the things I love about the Oloroso is the orange peel note. But then I love the evolution of the Moscatel and the different dried fruits and cinnamon. Just beautiful notes out of both of them that I don't want to favour either. It's like my 3 children. I cannot favour one of my 3 daughters, otherwise I get in trouble. It's like children. Moscatel.
왜 그 얘기하기 전에 내 눈으로
Moscatel.
안 봐도 돼.
Winter malt. Oloroso. There's a bit of sherry versus winter malt at the moment. What was your favourite? Winter malt. Winter malt. And the latecomer. Favourite whiskey of the night. Have you tried the last 2?
I think
Winter malt. I think winter malt wins.
Yeah, you should make some more Monaco smoke move.
I'll just message the boss.
더 없으십니까? 자, 그럼 일단 공식적인 행사는 여기까지인 걸로 하겠습니다. 감사합니다.
Thank you. Thank you for coming and tasting and trying. Now you can spread the good word of New Zealand whiskey.